October marks the release of version 19, which is 2021 release wave 2 of Business Central. I've picked out a few pieces of new functionality that are in this release to walk through with you today. Microsoft are constantly working to improve the integration between the products in their portfolio. In this release of Business Central, there's now extended functionality to integrate into external solutions, such as Teams. So from within any card or list page within Business Central, there is now a share to other apps option at the top. If we click on that, I get the opportunity to share it to Teams. Once the pop-up box appears, you can then select which channel that you have access to in Teams you want to post it into, and you can also put additional comments against it for when it posts into Teams. I then click Share, and we can go and see what's being produced in Teams. Once in Teams, if I go to my remote living Teams, click in General, you can see the new post that I've made there, my little comment against it. That then gives you a link to go back in and view the information within Business Central. So nice, quick, easy way to pass information around the business. Another piece of extended functionality involving integration with Office is the ability to send emails from within records in Business Central. So previously you could send an email out, but it'd be a basic text-based email. We now have the ability, I'm on a contact card here, to click Send Email, which opens up a box that allows us to send an email direct from within Business Central. We now have the ability to use Word templates. So these Word templates can be set up and use mail merge functionality within Word to build data structures that absorb data from Business Central. So if I click the Use Word template, it asks me which template I want to use. So these two have both got integration to the contact already built into them. So I'll click the thanks note and say finish. That then brings this text into the message here and automatically merges in data from the contact. If you want to, you can change some of the wording within the email, obviously. And when you're happy with it, you can click Send Email. In Business Central and previously Nav, every time you go and create a new document, such as a sales quote, a sales order, or a purchase order, you always get the same type of default line appear, which is typically item. If you're a finance-only company and don't transact in items, this can be incredibly frustrating to have to change that type every single time you create a new line on a document. So from version 19, there is now new functionality on the sales and receivables and purchase and payables setup that allows you to go in and change the default setting. So here we've got the document default line type. I can change that to be GL account. I close that and then go to create a new sales quote or sales order. You can now see the type defaults to GL account. Very small point, but very useful to speed up the process of entering documents. One of the concerns with customers moving from on-premise versions of Business Central or Nav up into the cloud has been the restrictions on the database sizes that Microsoft have imposed. There have recently been some changes made, so it used to be previously an 80 gigabyte limit per tenant, so you were allowed 80 gigabytes of storage, and that had to encompass both your production environment and your sandboxes. The recent changes have meant that as well as the 80 gigabyte limit, you also have an allowance per license purchased in your environment. So for each premium license that you have in your environment, you're given an extra 3 gigabytes capacity. For each Essentials license, you're given 2 gigabyte capacity increase, and for each device license, you're given an additional 1 gigabyte storage. So what does this mean for you? In a very simple example, if you're a manufacturing company with 20 premium licenses and 5 device licenses for scanners, for instance, to be used in the manufacturing or warehousing process, you'll get the following allowances. You get your initial 80 gigabyte tenant, 20 lots of 3 gigabytes for your premium licenses, and 5 lots of 1 gigabyte for your device license, giving you a total capacity of 145 gigabytes, which is obviously a vast increase over the standard 80, and that's probably a more realistic total for a business that's looking to use the system for a number of years as they grow. If you're already in SaaS and want to have visibility of what your capacity allowance is and how much you've used up, I'll give you a quick example of how to go through and find that. Within Business Central, if you click on the My Settings cog and then click on Admin Center, this takes you out to the Microsoft Environments Admin Center. Under this, there is a capacity tab that you can click on. This then shows you your capacity here, so your original 80 gigabytes, any additional user capacity or device capacity you have in there, the number of environments you've got, so you're allowed 1 production and up to 3 sandbox environments, and then the total capacity used within each of these particular environments. There's also the ability to look at individual tables to see which tables it is that are storing the largest amount of data in the system. This is obviously a demo database, so there's a minimal amount of data in it, and we're using a very, very small amount of the capacity. So this is how you see the information about what capacity you're using in your environment. Well, that's just a few of the new pieces of functionality available in version 19 of Business Central. When we send out a link to this webinar for you to view it later on, we'll also include a link to the What's New page from Microsoft. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. Thank you.